almost impossible topic to another. So recently, everybody knows about the tragic school shooting in Texas.
Yep.
Um, I'm glad, and this is for Cody because that's what Cody does. If people ain't figured that out yet, right? Cody's involved in our school system with having officers at schools and all this stuff.
Thank you, bro.
You're welcome.
But I cannot imagine getting a call of that magnitude and then finding out that you have multiple deaths, and I can't. I mean, it's unimaginable.
It's the worst case of the worst case, man.
And then they talk about every time this happens, and I know that it happens way too often, and there's millions, potential solutions. But again, the media always talks about it has to be one or the other, right? The Second Amendment is always to be cut because guns are horrific, and it's because of guns that all this bad shit happens. And it frustrates me to no end. Because yes, this is horrific, and yes, something has to be done. But we live in this country of compromise and understanding, and for some reason, the media is only about dividing and separating and changing things that don't need to be changed, just need to be discussed, right? And so, again, we said it in the last one. I am an avid gun owner. I am a hunter. I am not a gun enthusiast, but I do support the Second Amendment. I know Cody does as well, and I know Tori also has some personal issues when it comes to this topic. So that's why I wanted to kind of tie these two topics together, because I do feel that there is resolution or compromise that goes this way as well. So I'm again start this with Cody, because we had a 5-minute conversation on it yesterday, and I was like, well, let's continue this tomorrow. So what is your position on this gun control, Second Amendment, having to, pause, break, or whatever, because that's what you hear in the media, is that we have to eliminate guns. We need harsh, immediate gun control.
Right. Well, so I think it's a multifaceted problem, but I don't think that banning firearms or semi-automatic rifles would stop any school shooting on the planet. I think that evil finds a way to be evil, right? I do know that 94% of of the mass shootings happen in weapons-free zones, and sadly, the only thing we give these people to protect themselves is a sign that says weapons-free zone, right? And I'm not saying harm teachers, right? And I'm not 100% against it. I think there would have to be a lot of training and red tape and regulation, and that in itself is a multifaceted problem, right? But trying to ban, because it doesn't stop with semi-automatic rifles. The next thing they're going to go against is now it's pistols, and now it's I don't know why the AR-15 is what they're deciding to
target,
right? But they are, and they're calling them assault rifles, and that's a nice term, but it's really not definable. But I don't think that's the fix. I think that even with the 10-round magazine, because that's the other thing you hear is well, these high capacity magazines, they just have to reload, right?
Yeah.
In 2 seconds.
And if most of them that go in and do it, they already have body gear on with several clips already.
And I'll end with this, and I'll pass the floor, and we can round table discussion it. I'm a firm believer that if laws and regulations fix the problem, then all we would have to do is make killing people unjustifiably against the law. We can call it something like murder, Because if laws fix the problem, we could just do that.
So, all right. So, I don't own a gun. I don't own a gun because I take a lot of pride in keeping myself calm, and I know that the moment I get to a balling point, it's really nothing that could stop me. You know, like I'm gonna have to go through that angry phase myself. So a gun, and with everything going on, trust me, I'm like, hey man, you just need something to protect your family. But everyone I know that has a gun for some reason thinks it's a nice toy. It's something to brag about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to know I got this gun. I want to, and that's just from my point of view, from where I come from, my culture.
No, it's not just your culture. It's not like that.
All right. You know, and I'm like, man, you know, like you got that for protection, but
It's how most gun enthusiasts.
right. But a lot of people don't understand what they speak and what they do. Sometimes will come to fruition. Like it could have just a innocent person out there don't even know you, but know you got that gun and just having a bad day and see you one day and just make the dumbest remark to you, you know, in retrospect to cause you bodily harm. And you like, well, I'm going to protect myself. And now we here. So when we come to these gun laws where kids are dying in schools, it's evil. Like all I could think about is evil because
100%.
we went to school and you know we had riots, we had big old fights, but I don't think anybody ever thought, man, I'm just gonna go take this gun and wipe out everybody I don't like. And even if they thought it, I mean, we had so many people that actually bonded with other people that be like, man, you silly, you thinking about that, and actually would go say, hey, I think such and such trying to do this.
Right.
Like with the kid from wherever he was, like outside of his grandmother, some people had potential to know that he wanted to do something, man. They didn't even alert anyone.
Right.
You know, like we got to stop saying, oh, it's just a game because he posting it there. No, man, we got to start alerting people and letting that be the deciding factor to it not happening. Right. You know? And we kind of let you carry guns now.
No, not kind of.
Right, but I'm saying,
I mean, so like Louisiana's an open carry state.
Right, so we could literally go anywhere and a person could have a gun. So yesterday, my nephew had his field day at school, right? So everybody over there in just regular street clothes, and I kid you not, my back against the wall, I got him right here. Like, I need to see everything. And I'm not going to play hero, sorry. But if something jump off, I'm trying to grab my nephew and get out the way.
Well, and look, most responsible concealed carry gun owners are not they're not carrying to play hero either. Now some are. Some got that old hero fantasy that, like my kids know I carry, right? And I've told them before, don't you be shouting out like my dad's a cop.
Right.
Like, y'all are my responsibility. Like, if I'm in a movie theater, like I'm like, kid, you see that exit over there? Like my job is to shield bullets from you, shoot back if I have to, and kill anybody gets between me and that door.
Right.
And we are getting out. Now, once my kids are safe, you know, I'm not saying I wouldn't go back in.
Right.
Just because of my profession and my obligations. But my first obligation with my kids is to protect them. You know, and that's why I carry, is protect my children.
I totally understand, Cody, man. Like, I understand your profession. I understand the dangers that come with it. You know, like I wouldn't want that profession at all. Like, not because it's not a great profession, but even when you're doing the right thing, you're always presented as doing the wrong thing, you know? And then when you're going home, like the protection order in your head never stops. Like it's never a rest moment. So I do feel for you, you know? It's almost like being a mortician. You know, you carry a lot of weight from your job to what you see in the streets, and you can't actually talk about it. Then you got to go home and decipher all that. Like, all right, I got to keep my kids away from this type. I got to keep my kids away from this type. So
it's hard to debrief.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, you know, you're always gonna be on some type of alert. So once again, I know we go at it. I know I'm tough on cops, but I love you and I appreciate you, bro.
And look, I'll tell you this statistically, because you know. I like statistics. Responsible concealed carry licensed gun owners commit less crimes than cops do, right? So it's not the law abiding gun owner that's causing these problems. It's the evil outliers.
So that's okay. So I'm glad you said that and you made that comment because I am a gun owner. I am a hunter. I'm also okay with gun control. Kind of in the situation that you sit with on the abortion side, right? Like there is a compromise. I don't think that, I don't think people need 50 round magazine clips. But again, it's because you can have 2 clips of 50, right? If not, you got to have 5 to 10 clips of 10. So you can't carry as many. And so I'm okay with extreme magazines, and I'm okay with bump stocks, and I'm okay with all these ridiculous things that are only made for gun enthusiasts. It has zero practical use in any home invasion situation. Or it does. I mean, there's no.
I'm gonna say this: if somebody comes in my home, and I have my choice of having a 30 round, and I'm not saying a 100 round drum mag, right?
All right.
But if I have my choice, most pistols carry 15 to 17 rounds in it. Most crimes are committed with handguns. It's not assault rifles or AR-15 or whatever, however you want to define them. It's not semi-automatic rifles. It's handguns.
Which are also semi-automatic.
And most home invaders do so in pairs. So now I'm facing
34 guns, 34 bullets
from 2 separate home invaders. Me having to reload might be the time that they rush. So yes, there are practical reasons on why I need a 30 round magazine in my AR-15. A 100 round drum mag? No, that's a bit extreme, right?
Right.
But I would much rather have, like you're talking about, because what they're trying to push is a 10 round magazine for an AR-15. That's less rounds than a handgun.
I get it, and that's what I'm saying. There's a compromise. Like I'm if you say matching me, it's 15 and 15, whatever. Like that's because again, statistically, you're a percentage guy. You can't sit here and tell me that the number of home invasions that are stopped by having a 15 round clip over 30. It's bullshit. It's just it.
I don't think they track that.
They don't because it doesn't happen often enough to even track it.
And lately, home invaders been dying, so it's a good thing.
Because
people busting them up, man, busting them up. That's what's supposed to happen.
I mean, you hear the argument of, what do you need? What do you need an AR-15 to protect your house with? And I kind of talked to John a little bit while we were on the phone. I guarantee you, I can take you guys right now to the gun range, and I can give Tori probably a 10-minute lesson on firing a handgun.
I could fire a gun
and get him. Because you were in the military.
Yeah, right? I just know with it in my hand and my temper go. You're gonna be like Tori. You're gonna be talking me down out the building. Come on, Tori, man, get out of there, man. I know you ain't mean to do it, but hey, man, it's done. Look, I got to get you out here safe.
So I can take somebody that's never fired a firearm and have them firing fairly accurate, right? At an average engagement of 7 to 10 yards, which is most. But when you're in a home, right, I guarantee if I back you up to the 50-yard line with a pistol,
you're gonna miss.
You're probably not hitting the paper,
right?
Much less the silhouette of the person on it, and that's in a zero stress situation. But I can take that same shooter and hand them an AR-15, right?
And you gonna hit him at least
and
3.
They can hit him a couple times, and so. To say that I would never need an AR-15 to protect my home that's made by people who've never fired firearms before, or realize that the
I have an AR that I hunt
limitations. Right, yeah.
It's a hunting reference. It's not
great for like hogs and stuff, right?
It's amazing for any kind of hogs or nuisance animals.
Killers.
But even just deer, like it's not because of the. I don't have 30 round clips. I don't have
right.
Because again, it's against the law to hunt with that. You only have six rounds when you hunt, so you can't have, And so it's like when you deer hunt,
right?
When you nuisance hunt and you hunt hogs, it's you can have whatever clip. You shoot them out of a freaking helicopter for crying out loud.
Them hogs bad. Huh?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
They eat the marsh up anyway.
Everything. It's worse out of state like that than around here, but. So, like, I get it. I don't think that there should be any kind of. I don't believe that getting rid of AR solves anything. I do believe that making guns
harder to get
purchase will help.
Right. Well, so, and my question on that is, so how do you do that? Like, people say background check. They already have background check.
Right. I said the same thing.
You say that. Not every state has. I can go buy a gun on Facebook right now.
But that's not
right?
So that is a person-to-person transaction. That's not you walking into a gun store.
I can't
or
buy
a
your
gun
car
show.
without registering it.
I get that.
Right?
I get that, but a car is not a right either. It's a privilege. Second Amendment is
Second Amendment
a right.
says what?
You have a right to bear arms.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a
But
right.
what
for
does
me
the
to be able to
full Second
bear.
Amendment state?
Yeah, I don't want to misquote it. It's like 2 sentences.
Exactly. It's only 2 sentences. Let's see. I don't have it on.
Pull it
So
up on your computer so that if you
I screenshotted it because I knew you were going to say this.
This must have came up in the conversation
It
last
did.
night.
Second Amendment states a well-regulated militia being necessary to secure
hold up, slow down because there's 3 commas in between militia and
a
people.
well-regulated militia,
Comma.
being necessary to secure of a free state,
Comma.
the right of the people to keep and bear arms, shall not be infringed.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So let's tackle the first part.
Okay.
A well-regulated militia.
Mm-hmm.
It says regulated.
Comma.
Exactly.
Yeah. So not. See, people try to argue that it gives the militia the right to bear arms. That's not true. And in fact,
But wait.
hold on.
Let me just interject once.
Go ahead.
Now, because again, this is where I stand on it. You're saying what it means to you. No, you are. It's the same thing. A Bible verse.
No, just hear me out before we go there. I just want you to understand there are clarification writings by the authors of the Constitution and the Second Amendment that clarify that the militia is the people.
It says it in there. So
You know,
that's
so
not.
like
That's
they're not
what
talking
I'm
about just the
arguing.
militia. They're talking about the people.
But the militia and the people is defined as one and the same in the Bill of Rights and in the Constitution.
Right.
But the thing that irritates me when it comes to these people that are complete, and I'm not including you if you are or not, I don't know. But the people that are just like, you should be able to, there should be zero gun control. And look, I'm not, I own guns. So, but I do think that you should have some kind of transactional regulations, background checks, red flag simulations, something to say. This kid was 18 years old and purchased $6,000 worth of material. How the fuck does an 18-year-old get $6,000 when you live with your grandma? And no, that's not red flags to anybody.
I mean,
this kid
yeah.
bought a $3,000 rifle.
Yeah, it should be some red flags, but like, so I get that, but like, so a kid who loves to target shoot and wants it for a competition rifle because this one evil individual went and committed an evil act. The kids who might be in 3-gun competition can't go buy that rifle.
That's not what I'm saying at all.
You know,
But there should be, like, so I'll compare it to the abortion situation, right? If you go get an abortion, even now, you have a 48-hour hold. You can't just go get an abortion and have it done the same day. You have to have a mental evaluation.
and I'm all for that. Look, you're comparing personal transactions to like
You can buy them at gun shows.
but those gun show loopholes have been so debunked. It's ridiculous.
How's that?
You got to fill out the same paperwork at a gun show that you have to fill out if you go into a gun store.
That's not true because
It is true.
It's not. It's not true at all.
Let's call Terrell Johnson.
Because the thing is that you can simply go. I can have a booth at a gun show and sell my personal guns.
Well, that's a stupid loophole. That's true.
That's what I'm saying. You know, and again, it's not every state, but it's the states that have these loopholes and the states that have like there has to be.
And look, I'm all for like if you're selling a personal transaction of a firearm, I'm all for, you know, whatever. If I want to buy a gun from Jared, I have to go to whatever gun shop, get my paperwork done, and bring that as a proof of sale to Jared. I'm fine with that.
That's where I am too, right? If I order, and I built my AR, right?
Right.
So every time I ordered something from ABC, right, I had to get it shipped to a gun
FFA
store,
licensed,
correct?
yeah, or whatever,
Sign the
I'll say FFA,
paperwork.
whatever
Yeah, and have that transaction. But I can sell you
Your gun.
anything, and again, I don't have the answer because it's going to be very hard to create a gun registry for every gun and everything that happens. It's not going to happen.
I'm not saying you need a registry, but I'm with you.
But that's the only way you're going to track who has what gun.
But we don't even really need to do that. What I'm getting at is I'm okay with having the same regulations for a personal firearm sale as you have for
a private
yep. Business. I'm all for, look, if you want to sell these two, because you're right. If I want to sell my motorcycle or something, I have to go through a justice of the peace. Like there's no.
You can't just say here,
right,
and you roll off with it.
If I want to sell a firearm to Jared, we go to our local gun store and do the transaction through the gun store.
I'm fine with that. Or even online, you got to show some kind of proof
or have it mailed to the. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with that. I'm not fine with them. Having knee-jerk reactions and banning all kind of firearms just because some evil person committed an evil act, and I'm not trying to take, because that's freaking, like you said at the beginning, that's oh man, that's like the worst of the worst call you could ever get.
Yeah.
Even not as a parent, even as like a first responder, having to go in there and see that call, like that's.
And the thing is, man, like that's a bad call if it's one person,
right?
You know what I'm saying? But little kids like that, and then teachers, like nobody should have to die like that, man. And we always say it's mental illness. We'll never know the true cause behind
anybody that kills somebody like that, they're mentally ill. Like a sane person doesn't do
that. It's the same thing with the Buffalo, New York,
right?
Incident.
But it's
evil is evil. Like
evil is evil, man.
The only way you stop that is with a good person with the means and the tools to be able to stop them. Like it just there's no.
But that same good person ain't really, when it initially starts, they not aiming to fatally take this person out. You know what I'm saying? So it still leaves themselves in range to be hurt.
Oh, yeah. Yes, we are.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just saying initially, like say you standing there, right?
Like there's no, you go in and you put the threat down.
All right.
Like now look, that's not to say you start opening fire and they drop the gun and we're not just going to execute, right? But you go into a school and you start shooting, we're coming here to shoot you.
And my thing is, you hear already and you see the person coming. Mentally you like, hey, put that down. You having this.
Yeah. Okay, I'll follow that. You're right, Tori. You're absolutely right.
And you're gonna be like, well, I'm gonna try. Right.
Right.
And that person might be so angry, like you might put one in his knee just to get him to go down, and and he's still capable to take you out. That's the bad part about that person, so you literally have to see it and be like, all right, he might just be clowning. He might just be a setup.
Yeah, you don't clown like that. Right. You bring a gun on a school campus and I'm on, you catching some lead poisoning. I'm just throwing it out there. Like, you ain't coming there because you want me to clean the gun for you.
Right.
Like, you ain't.
What's your position or take with the body armor situation?
What you mean?
Like the guys that be having a body armor?
Well, look, so that's another thing that there's laws in place, but criminals break laws. That's why they're called criminals. But so it becomes illegal to have body armor if you use it in the commission of a crime. Right?
But you can still. What's the point of you having body armor as a
civilian?
That's something else that I don't get. Like,
right? Yeah, I mean, and
there's no reason for me to have body armor unless I'm trying to go commit a crime.
Well, I mean, you say that, but then you go grocery shopping in New York and you're innocently trying to buy some freaking rice and somebody shoots you. So, I mean, for your own person.
That's a...
Well, no, not really, not no more.
But I'm saying how...
Think about somebody just was at a grocery store.
Body armor. Civilians.
Not so many civilians have body armor.
That's my point.
But how many could have been saved if they were wearing body armor? That would be the question.
It's not the question, though.
But that could be.
I mean...
Then we don't know who the killers and who the protectors.
I mean, the thing is that you're going to... Something has got to
like they make school bags with body armor in it.
I get it, but it's a plate. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about the New York guy and this guy had full tactical gear.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to buy that. I get what you're saying.
Helmets, vests, body shields. Like, you couldn't shoot this dude. You had to shoot him square in the face.
Right. Now we as law enforcement, we do body armor transitional drills where you know,
You know
we're
where to
gonna
go
fire a few
outside
rounds.
of it.
Yeah, we're gonna fire a few rounds center mass, and if that ain't stopping you, we go into more vital areas.
Yeah, no, I get that, but I'm saying it still makes it. You can shoot me 3 times.
Oh,
I'm
I
gonna
mean, you
continue-
look at the Las
I can-
Vegas,
know.
not Las Vegas, the LA bank robbers or whatever. Like it started with, you know, that was probably one of the most open cases of them wearing body armor to commit a crime, and it patrol people didn't have rifles at that point, you know,
Right.
and them dudes was just mowing cops down, you know.
That's crazy.
It is.
Like, that's no
It
point in
is.
that.
But again, criminals are going to find a way to get the thing. Like,
Right.
That's illegal for you to have anyway.
Right. And you
It's not though. It's illegal to do it and commit a crime.
Certain body armors, so you can't just like bunker up and go.
You
I
know,
don't
like,
think.
you
I mean,
make
I could
your
be.
own, you know, like I get that, but the harder you make things to acquire, it's the less its chance of it happening. Right? It's true. I mean, the harder you make it is for your house to be burglarized, the less chance you have. You know, and I understand it.
But like
It's
the
the same-
harder you make something to get doesn't
The
make it harder
extreme
for
is
criminals to get.
the
They're gonna
extreme,
get it.
yeah.
And it doesn't matter how hard
No,
it
but
is to
there's
get. They're
still
going to get it.
most criminals are opportunistic.
Right, but your active shooters are not. They're meticulous in planning. A lot of them. And if it takes them wait an extra month to get that body armor that they want, they're going to wait an extra
That's
month
an
to
extra
get that body
month
armor they want.
that law enforcement, everybody.
Yeah, I'm not
has
saying
to
don't do it.
follow
Yeah, I'm not. Look, I'm not.
you know.
I'm not saying that don't regulate that stuff. What I'm saying is to think that the law would stop it.
Oh no, I'm
It's
not
not
saying
gonna
it's
stop
going to
it.
limit.
But yeah,
I'm
it may
just
slow
saying
'em down.
It makes
Yeah.
things harder to accomplish.
Yeah, I'm 100% for that. The FBI can go look at that. Like, hey man, why are you buying this body armor? If you know, oh well, I own a security company. Okay, you know, well I'm 18 and I like playing in the woods. No.
Yeah.
No, let's we're gonna look a little further into the yeah. I get that. And then,
Like you got to have a security. If you at 18, like, well, I'm getting a job at a security company.
but when you
Have
start
your security company call us and have signed a waiver that you're buying
when you
this?
start talking about common sense laws, that's the kind of stuff you talk about. You don't talk about background checks. We already do that. You know,
But
like,
it
that's
could be
not
way
stopping
better.
nothing.
It could be so much, and it's single state, right?
What's that?
It's only single state background checks. There's no national background.
No,
check.
they should be a national background.
There's
check.
no.
I'm with you
No
on
state
that.
has a national background check. So if you've committed a crime in Louisiana, you can go to Pennsylvania and buy a gun.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Right. Well, first you'd have to get a Pennsylvania driver's license.
Right.
Say that you're a resident of Pennsylvania, buy a gun, you'll be okay.
But yeah, but you should like I'm all for like, but those are the kind of legislations that would be bipartisan. If you're trying to pass a bill that says, look, I know we already have background checks, but it's state level. We want to be able to have a federal background check. That way, if somebody committed some crimes in Louisiana and moves to Florida and wants to buy a firearm 3 years later, those flags will pop up. I don't think anybody fights that,
Agreed.
right?
That's not the conversations that are had.
There's not.
You know, it's like got to take them every week.
right.
Everybody's none, zero. It's like
because it's so mass. It's like people on my end that don't own guns and just I don't think they really get up on their education of the gun laws, the gun ownership. They just, hey, I don't have one in life, fine. Nobody needs one. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much I believe that
but that's the same position, and I get that, but it's the same uneducated
right,
thing
but
that people say. You know, well, I buy my meat at the grocery store. You should too. You shouldn't hunt.
right.
And it's like, I haven't bought ground meat in 10 years. Like, literally, I have not purchased meat from a store. And, you know, it's like, well, why? Well, because that's what I choose to do.
You hunt.
You know,
Like,
and it's
no,
like, well, I mean, that's crazy. Like, why is it crazy? It's crazy that you go out and wait for somebody else to provide you with your next meal. And like, mine's just sitting in
Right,
the
and you
freezer.
don't know where that meat went.
No,
you know where your meat came from.
absolutely. You know, so it's like, I mean, even if you know, like you ain't got to hunt. Like this is my position on like there's plenty. You can buy half a cow tomorrow and bring it to the butcher. And you know, like you don't have to dispatch it. You don't have to do anything to it. But it's kind of just like I think you have a much different connection with things.
When you kill it,
No. You
I'm just being petty,
no,
man.
I get it. But you definitely do.
Most hunters are very respectful,
Right, because
to
there's
the
look
animals.
there's hunters
and
out
conserving
there
them. You know,
that sit there and it's kind of scary, but they do enjoy the thrill of kill. Like that's exactly why they hunt. They just want to kill shit, you know. But that's not majority of hunters.
right, right.
It is a connection. It's
To nature, not just
you
to
know,
kill them.
And I mean, I know, because I talked to Mikey, and I know Mikey and bought his kids and taught them how, and like I keep up with when they go hunting and what
Right.
they kill. Like, so my whole hunter thing was just to, it's still killing at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
no doubt.
So I mean, no matter if it's human or if it's an animal, it's still the act of kill. So it was basically just to bring another picture to what we was talking about on the abortion. I don't really, like I said, everything is a person's choice, So I'm gonna leave you to your choice all the time. But if your choices don't add up to me when it's time for us to interact, I mean, we're gonna have limitations, and that's just with anybody,
Right.
So I'm not knocking the hunter thing, so I don't want y'all to be like, "Oh man, Tori crazy, man." Tori went and said that. I don't know what he was thinking. It was a talking point for the conversation we were having. So
So I'll, if we can change tunes a little bit, I've seen a lot of things going on social media, particularly a picture of. So there's a teacher. It's a drawing with her hands out, all the kids behind her, teacher protecting her kids. And then above it is the same teacher with the same kids, but in one of her hands she's got a gun pointed out. What are y'all feelings on arming teachers?
all teachers, or
The
should have
the ones that want to. Like you don't make a teacher have to, but the ones that would want to.
Man, it'll be so tough, Cody. Only reason I say it's so tough because of the simple fact that just looking at the teacher realm right now and the kids realm, like a lot of teachers can't physically handle the kids mentally. Like kids are really running the teachers rugged in school nowadays.
You're saying teacher can go off and pop one of the kids?
I mean, they could.
Like the kid, like I say,
I
man.
get
One
that.
day I went into
And
Humble
this
Junior
is-
High, and the stuff I heard the kids telling the teachers, I'm like, there's no way. So once again, remember how I was telling you having a gun and what it leads to? I could see a disrespectful ass teenager in the class that knows this teacher has a gun, and this teenager might have a gun at home, and he a street teenager.
So that'd
Don't-
be the first thing, not to interrupt you, but they would not know that these teachers are carrying.
It's a lot of
That's
things that
I
we
don't
should
think they
never
should
know.
Carry. I'll give you my opinion on it. Al.
But I don't think it should be. So I'm thinking maybe one teacher a hall, like let's say Terrebonne, for instance. Every teacher on the corner where the door entrances is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like if you come through this stairwell, that first class on the right should have one. The one at the end should. When you get to the next one, the same thing. That way, I mean, at least our interests are protected. So whoever doing whatever, they have to come a certain way. Two, is gonna be so tough. Like if you was to get your gun taken, like how would you regulate a teacher on keeping that gun and not getting it taken from or misplaced in school?
So I have my own opinion on it, but I'll give you the
No,
floor.
I mean, again, I'm in the middle of both y'all. I think it should be a conversation because I look at it on the economic side and also look at it on the practical side. Economically, there's a lot of school districts that can't afford to have security at every school in every area. They just can't, right? So I do think it should be part of the conversation, but I do think that with that, it has to be an abundance of training. Like maybe even go through the academy, or something of that nature to be like, hey, look, like you really need to. Has to be 100% a choice.
Right.
They have to go through all the mental evaluations. They have to do everything it would be for an SRO or somebody of that nature to have that same option, right? But I also think if you're going to do it, it has to be multiple in the school. It can't just be one teacher in the school, right? Because I do believe that, look, nobody knows the school better than the teachers. Nobody knows the outline, if it over the PA, Mrs. Jones's class. Everybody knows in that classroom where Mrs. Jones's class is.
Right.
Police officers coming outside don't. Especially in every different school. And I know we are different. I know a lot of areas, obviously in Texas, I know a lot in Florida as well, don't have SROs.
Right.
So there is no officer at these schools on a regular basis. So, man, as we've seen, 40 minutes, 48 minutes for these guys to respond. And
Yep.
I know,
A lot of things played a major factor.
And I get it, but if you have teachers in there, I don't think that.
And the teachers actually died protecting the kids, you know? So let me have something to fire back if I'm just going to take
But
these
look,
bullets.
it's got to be.
So this is my, and look, you know, I give this disclaimer every time, but I feel like I have to. This is my personal opinion. This is not my professional or my employer's opinion or anything. This is just me, Cody No Block, off of work, my opinion.
Yep.
I am opposed and not opposed to it at the same time, right? So I think first and foremost, if we were going to live in a world where we arm teachers, I think that every teacher's classroom, regardless of if they have a gun or not, should have a safe in the classroom, bolted with a firearm and possibly some body armor in it. The teachers that want to have the guns have the firearm in their safe. The other ones, it's an empty safe, so the kids don't know which teacher's armed and which one's not.
Right.
It's kind of like, I don't know if you remember back in the day with the cameras on the school buses.
But you didn't know which ones had a camera.
Yeah,
Right.
The
So we
parents
look
didn't have
for the
enough money
red
to
button.
put cameras on
Right.
them, so they rotate.
Right.
Everybody said, boy, and they all had a little red light on.
All had a red light.
Once they put them boxes in the buses, everybody's good as hell on the bus. Nobody got in a fight on the bus.
But that's and all that is because most of your active shooters are kids in the school, right? Like that's I don't want to say most. I don't know the stat on that, but
It's a student or something of it like
Or
that.
a former
relative,
student, right?
Yeah.
So you can't have a safe in Miss Johnson's room and then no safe in Miss Smith's room.
Target.
Because the kids are the active shooters go to Miss Smith's room, right?
Right.
So you have to have a safe in every one of them, and then the teachers that want to have the firearm
Go through the process of being able to carry that firearm.
right. Yeah, they got to go through the training, they got to go through all that. But once all that's done, and we're in a world where they can have it, it needs to be in that safe, and they can use that to get in their safe area, put themselves between the kids and the door, and point that gun at the door, and that is it.
Yep.
Do not go in the hallway.
Yep.
Do not go searching for it, because I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen.
Shot by a cop.
Yep.
They're gonna shoot them.
Absolutely.
Because cops don't know who's a teacher and who's not, and we're gonna go in that hallway and see somebody with a gun, and like I
lay
told you
them
before,
down.
we're not coming in there softly, right? We come
agree
we
with
come
that
there to stop the threat,
1,000,000%.
and I would hate that would be a hard thing to live with. Like, I
Right.
came here to start, I shot the freaking teacher who just took down the suspect. You know,
Right.
like that's get in your classroom, lock your door, use it to protect your classroom, and that's where it ends.
Right.
When the police come, look, however we got to show to prove that it's the police outside, put your firearm down. We're coming in, we're unlocking the door, we're with the principal, whatever. Okay, ma'am, your firearm down. Yes, it is. Okay, we're coming in, but you can train those scenarios. You can train those type of things, how the teacher can safely keep it in their hand but point it at the floor.
But there's so many things, man. Like, I feel like we could actually raise up our education bill. Like, we should be able to put in doors that are just locked in the room, to the actual room.
Most doors do.
Right?
I'm saying
No,
only
most doors do have locks on them.
only in a situation like that.
Our standard operating procedure for schools from the parish, from the school board, not from law enforcement, is when they're teaching their doors to be closed and locked. Like they're not supposed. Now, I do go in the schools and pull on door handles and walk the hallways, and if the doors are locked, I will tell a teacher it's supposed to be locked.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Right.
But
and I mean, because it's so not normally the norm,
right. But those doors are supposed to be closed while they're teaching and locked. Just so that's one less step they got to do in case God forbid something happens. But
it's easy. So it's kind of like correct me if I'm wrong, but the lock is not. It's if you turn it from the inside, it unlocks.
right.
So it's not a physical. They don't have to unlock it and turn the knob.
No, they just turn from the inside and the
And it
door
unlocks.
automatically unlocks.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't unlock, but it opens.
It opens. So
Right.
it keeps it locked from the outside.
Keeps it locked from the outside. Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
because that's the thing that I know. Some of the the ones that have like the hinges, like I know the people
Right.
can't see, but it's a hinge door. I see one of the guys. I think it was on Shark Tank or something like that, and he invented this. They keep kind of like a fire extinguisher. It's a little thing. It's just a little red triangle.
Yeah, it fits over the.
And it just slides over that thing, and you can shoot because that's it. I mean, one bullet and you come in through the door.
Yeah,
You shoot the lock,
right.
you're done. You're coming right through it. You can't physically open the door. You have to shoot out all the hinges and the lock, and just have the door fall. So that's my thing. There are so many things that stop these from happening. You know, there was like you just get rid of guns and it won't happen. There was an unlocked door in the entrance of the school.
Right.
Lock the damn door. You can't get in the door. You can't. You know, like. I'm not trying to place blame. Believe me.
But there's, you know, you can't get laxed in your security measures for the schools, and a lot of times they do. With the doors are unlocked. Now, look, our parish. It's rare to find an outside door unlocked to get into a school. And any parent that's going to their kid's school,
That bad boy is locked.
Now, you can
Pain
get
in the ass.
you can get on the school grounds, but you ain't getting in the building.
Right.
Look, my son at a local high school, and I needed his truck, and I told him to leave his keys in his truck and his door code. Like, leave your keys in your truck. I'm not gonna get your truck in no more. It's all right. So I get there, put his code in, no keys in the truck. Got to go all the way
To the front of the building.
I try to go to the back because I just walk from the parking lot, and the SRO says so you can't come back and you got to go around the front. I'm like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
stairs are right here, bro.
Right.
I don't have to walk all the way around this big ass school. Nope. Go around the front, buzz in, go up all the stairs, go into the off, like,
Yep.
and I'm going. And look, there was 2 students that were at the front door. I guess tardy students. And we sat out there for a few minutes, and she even said, "Can y'all step back?" And I guess she wanted to make sure that get all of us on camera,
Right.
get everybody. I don't know if that's protocol or what it is. And
Well, they want to be
she
able to
buzzed
see.
the door, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, that's pretty, all right." And it's a pain in the ass, but
It's safe.
I'm okay with it.
Right.
Because when we went to school, shit, you could have walked in any of those doors and went up there.
Part of the problem with the way our schools, we're still making some of the same mistakes with building newer schools, but most of your old schools, the mindset was not let's stop an active shooter. The mindset was let's be open to the community,
Right.
and that's how schools should be in a perfect world. But when these schools were built in the 70s and 60s, and some of even the 80s or 90s, when these schools were built, they didn't have those same security precautions in place. So the designs of these schools are designed specifically to be open for the community to be able to come on and parents to be able to come and look, see what's going on and walk into the school. And times have changed. So a lot of our schools are getting retrofitted for those things, but they're not designed from the ground up to have those things in mind. But I just, again,
It's tough, man.
to get to one of your points earlier, Jared, that you were making about response time, but 48 minutes or whatever. So an SRO is not a magic pill,
I know.
right? But it makes a school a lot harder of a target, and the national average response time to an active shooter situation that has an SRO on campus is under a minute. And yes, you can do some carnage in a minute, but it's way less than 30 minutes or 15 minutes or 5 minutes.
How many SROs do we have between in our school system?
So currently, all of our high schools, public high schools, have an SRO. So there's those 4. All of our junior highs, so Houma Junior High, Evergreen, they both have SROs at it. Oklahoma Middle has an SRO, and our alternative school has an SRO at it. I know there's some things in the works to try to possibly get some more. Stuff boils down to money. Unfortunately, it does. Money and manpower. But there are some things in the works. I know some of the private schools are looking at funding SROs on their own.
Through the parish?
No, through themselves.
No, I guess are they hiring private security?
No. They're trying to get full fledged. Yeah.
That's another concern I have. Is that these schools, and not here, but around the country, hiring private security. That bothers me. I don't know why, but it does. Because I feel like private security guard, and I'm not talking about your standard security guard. I mean a true private security company. Because I feel like some of these guys feel like they're kind of mercenaries. You know, like, and that's
They don't have the same oversight that law enforcement has. And look, our
and
job.
they don't have the same, I guess, public servant
Right.
as
And they also don't have the same vested interest
yeah.
that, like, my kids are in school. You know, I have the most vested interest you can get to protect those kids. You know, because some of them are mine. But even if they weren't, all my SROs would die for a kid. Or they wouldn't be SROs. But if you're a member of the community, you have a more vested interest to protect that. But it goes beyond that, man. Like a trained SRO doesn't just provide armed security. They're a counselor. They're a public servant. They're somebody the kids can go to trust to get advice. There's so many more facets that an SRO brings to a campus than just the guy with a gun.
It's a building a relationship with law enforcement with these students.
Right. Yeah, and the parents too.
And I mean, like, I talked to the guy at Terrebonne because, of course, I'm back coaching over there. I got a call like 2 weeks ago, so I started back.
Awesome,
yeah.
man.
Congratulations.
And he was like, "Man, Tori, when you
Stop
came
sending
back?"
fundraiser shit.
And we was just talking.
I better have $1 million in the bank account this year.
And we was having a conversation about what we did. School to the prison system pipeline.
Yeah.
And me and him was talking about it, and he was saying that, I don't think it was you, Cody, but I know you over them, right?
I'm over the sheriff's office.
All right.
It's not the police department.
And he was telling me that whoever's over him was asking him how many active write-ups he had or how many whatever y'all have to do to bring him downtown. And he was like, I only got 6. And he was like, well, you need more. And he was just telling me the situation behind it. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's a good dude. He's one of us. He played football and everything at Terrebonne, so he knows what kids go through and stuff like that. And I think he tries to talk to the kids first before doing any other type of bring you up the bill.
Trained him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I really do believe the SROs are a great thing, and especially if they are able to actually talk to kids that don't look like them.
Right.
And that'll breach a huge gap, man. Because, like I say, I don't think cops just want to do police work all the time, but if they could educate kids.
Their whole mission of being a cop is to work in the community.
Right.
To be ingrained in the community.
Right.
Like, there's nothing more enjoyable than watching on social media, guys in uniform playing basketball with kids. Like, that shit gets me chilling. Like, hell, that's what, like,
And it builds a better relationship,
Yeah.
because you got to understand, and I mean, it's a fault, but it's not a fault we don't really have facts to. Like in our community, we don't really hate cops, you just don't trust them. So until you can actually build a relationship with your younger self
not
for
just
them.
your community. Like, that's society right now.
Right.
And it's unfortunate because it's a bad few have done it
Right.
to everybody.
But what's awesome, though, Tori, is I guarantee you, because I spent probably about 12 years, I guess, in the school system, and there's kids that we've had come through that
We're terrible.
became criminals,
Right.
But they still
Respect.
Officer Noblock, what's up, man? Well, come give me a hug,
Right.
Right.
In court.
Yeah, street doesn't matter,
Right.
But it's because those relationships were built.
And that's all I'm saying. Because like I say, I come from a good family, I believe, but I knew growing up, like certain mental aspects of my family, it was built to the point where some of them would never do enough to get above water. They'll stay in the situation they are in and then blame everything around them. So having those same people and having positive people allowed me to become who I am. And I know it got some people that don't have positive people. They just have those people. So they stay in that mindset all the way till they become adults, and then they become those same people. So that's my biggest lift with what we call them? SROs.
School resource
So they
officers.
could really talk to the kid. Be like, learn me for yourself, not from your big brother's experience.
And I had a situation where I left Terrebonne and went to Oaklawn, right, for like 2 years. When I left Terrebonne, And it's one of those things that just kind of makes you appreciate the community, you know. Just to give an example of how ingrained you are into the atmosphere of the school, our desk sergeant called me up about 2 or 3 weeks after and was like, you need to put something on social media or call these parents. Like, our phone is ringing off the hook.
Because you're not there.
People are complaining to the chief wanting.
I got a phone call and said, why is Cody not terrible no more?
Right.
And I went, and at that point, I wouldn't, I mean, me and Cody
Right.
didn't talk. Like, maybe we spoke, you know,
Right.
and when we,
But it wasn't every
I
day.
didn't talk to him I didn't talk to him once a quarter. Like, you know, and I was like, I don't know. Like, why would you call, like, that's, you know, like, well, Jared knows Cody. Like, and I don't
Right.
like it was,
Right.
it was like that. I was like, wow, okay.
But I had parents reaching out to me, you know, saying, look, my kid respects you and loves you, and it's like heartbroken that you're not at the school anymore, you know, because, and I had one parent, you know, I asked their kid, well, you know, what makes him different? He said, well, he talks to us, not at us.
Right.
You know, he treats us like young adults, not like little kids. You know, he listens when we're talking. We're not like his bother, you know. So those relationships are built, you know, and that's kind of how I try to train the ones that we have now is the way I put it is the kids have to have I call it like a healthy fear. They're kind of like a parent, you know. They have to be comfortable enough to be able to come talk to you and tell you their problems, but respect you enough that they're not going to be, like, you're not their friend.
Right.
Like, they're not going to be cursing or doing bad things
Right.
in front of you, right? So that you have to have that balance. And when you get it, it can make such a difference. Like, it's
And they gonna go to the next person.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? They be
right.
like, hey man, you need to lay off of Cody, or you need to stop doing this because he's a really good guy. Like, once you got people in the community speaking for you, it makes it easier for you.
it's one of the most rewarding jobs in law enforcement I've done. And like, I've done a lot of things in my career. Being an SRO is one of those things it's just been a rewarding experience.
Right.
You know, it's not all cupcakes and rainbows, you know, but overall it's been very, very.
Do you know the national situation with SRO? I know, like a DARE program, for example, like they have like a national DARE where all the DARE officers kind of get together.
Yeah, well, they have a national conference of SROs.
Do you know the numbers or just like
Like how many nationwide we have?
yeah, just
I
in
don't know.
general, like how many areas have this?
I ring the doorbell, my son. I'm outside.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the numbers. But again, it's not free. It's not free. You know, I mean, it
costs,
it
yeah,
comes
for
with a
sure.
cost, and it comes with having to have additional manpower, and those things are challenging. And then you can't just throw anybody in a school. You have to have the right fit, or you should. If your department's not vetting that and picking a good fit for a certain school, then you're doing it an injustice. But you know, I think nationally, you know, if you want to start talking about some reforms and some security things, I think that's something that people should be throwing some money at. You know, when you start talking about on a federal level, you know, having grants or what have you to be able to increase the amount of SROs that you have, because it goes beyond that. You know, you have situations where you come across children just throughout your normal workday where you can tell that, like, you know, little Johnny seems a little off, man. Hey, you feeling all right, buddy? You know, oh, I'm being bullied, you know. Well, let's go talk. Let's go talk and find out who's bullying, because they shouldn't be bullying you at school, you know. But if you're not in that environment and noticing those differences in those kids, you know, then little Johnny may not get that attention at home. You know, he may be the one that's going to go, you know. So I mean, it's an immeasurable benefit to
all he's
have.
got at home is his
Right.
80-year-old grandma that's caring for him.
I had Jared. I'm telling you, I had one, and I'm not going to say the kid's name, but you know, I used to do Team Spirit every year, and on one of our last days, we got into a big circle every year, and the kids just got to an emotional thing. They got like soft music playing, the lights are low, and they got a candle, and the kids are sharing, you know, their personal feelings. And one of my students from Terrebonne started crying and came up to me, and he said, "Look, I had some bad times in my life where I was feeling almost like wanting to kill myself, and every morning I would see him coming on campus and be like, hey man, you know, I call him by his name, of course, but I don't want to put his business out there. How's things going? Oh man, I had a rough night. What's going on? That just somebody that cared." And he said that was enough to get him through those times. Just a simple gesture like, hey man, it's going to be okay. You know, if you need something, call me, you know, reach out to me. You know, even if you're at home, call dispatch. If you're going through something like that, man, it is what it is. But
Right.
you know, so you have situations like that where
It matters.
it matters. You know, it does.
It's a good thing.
Well, all right, man. Let's wrap this one up. This has been a good two. This one went a whole lot easier than I thought it was going to go. I thought we were just going to get a little.
It's maturity,
Ding,
man.
ding.
Maturity.
But yeah, I mean, well, this is going to be a good one. This will be fun. Hopefully, we start getting some traction. We'll be able to do this more. Like I said, we love this. You know, it's the highlight of my week.
So, well, right now I no longer have to pull on call on Saturdays. So
Watch out.
life. I don't want to speak on it too early.
Right, not gonna
Life change, man. You know, life change fast. So it's been a long 6 years pulling on call on a Saturday as a salary member of management and ain't getting paid anything extra for it. So it's over now. Hopefully I can have a normal person's life and see what's up, man. But I don't think on my end, unless I'm going on one of Jared's vacations, I should not be here on Saturdays.
I'm just start going on vacations Monday through Friday.
That'll work, man. That'll work.
yeah.
You got it like that.
But just take us with you.
Come on, going to Colorado.
Mobile
2
podcast.
weeks.
Mobile
I can do a
podcast,
mobile
bro.
podcast. Well, no, I'll be back. I'll be back on Friday. But yeah, all right, fellas. Well, again, I appreciate you guys, and I truly enjoy this. I look forward to our conversations and where we're gonna go with it. So, any last words? Anybody?
So we spoke on a lot of death today, and some that we were talking about were rights of others, and some that was just strictly taken. Either way, it's still tough to be in either one of those situations and have to make that decision. Man, just stay away from evil, man. I mean, everybody, you don't know the time, you don't know the place. Just stay away from evil if you can and be as positive as you can. And even if you see somebody having a bad day, say something nice to them. Like, I think if somebody would have probably said something nice to that guy, and I know a lot of people going to jump on me and say, no, Tori, you can say whatever you want nice to some people. They're going to just do what they want. But we got to intercept hate with some type of love. Some type. Like, I feel like the 18-year-old shooter and the guy in New York, somebody had to know something at some point, you know. Don't be scared to turn your friends in when they go and take lives, man. Lives. Like, their life gonna be affected, your life gonna be affected, and everybody else that's not here. So let's do what's right.
I agree. Even if somebody's having a bad day or it wouldn't change anything, saying something nice and reaching out and caring about one another, it doesn't hurt anything, right? So who knows? I'd rather at least try,
Right.
you know. And yeah, you're right. It may not change an outcome one bit, but it might. You know,
Right.
it for damn sure is not going to make it worse.
Right. Right.
You know, so you know, I'm with you, man. You know, pay the love forward and be kind to one another. You know, reach out and you know, if somebody's having a bad day and it takes 5 minutes of your time to just hear them out and talk to them, you know, you might make a difference in that person's life that exponentially that you never even thought would do anything.
Right.
You know, don't be afraid to have the conversations that we're having on this podcast with other people, but be respectful and don't argue and just talk, and you'd be surprised how many barriers come down and how much compromise and headway can happen when you sit down and have a mature conversation versus an argument.
Right.
You know, and I love you guys.
Love you too, bro.
I just echo what y'all said, man. Promote positivity. There's enough negative shit in this world. Stop sharing negative stuff on social media.
Yeah, please.
You know, like, if you see it, it could be funny. It could be, you know, you could be like, oh, I know what that feels. Don't share it. You know, just promote positivity. Support each other. Have the tough conversations. You know, and look, interact with us, because we want all the feedback and want further discussions with.
Yes, please.
Look, I would love to set these cameras up and have 10 people and have these discussions. Like,
Yeah.
so, you know, please let's love one another, promote positivity. Remember, the divide is not so wide.
Peace.
Too easy.